This podcast was originally live-streamed on the NonSequitur Show on YouTube. New episodes air weekdays, Monday through Friday, at 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/NonSequitur Show. Make sure you never miss a live stream by visiting www.nonsecshow.com/schedule. For the latest news, polls and updates throughout the day, follow us on Twitter at NonSecShow or Facebook.com/NonSecShow. That's NonSeq Show. If you'd like to get exclusive content, bi-weekly private hangouts with Kyle and Steve, backstage access to chat with guests after shows hosted on your channel and much more, become a Patreon saint of NonSequitur. It ensures we continue to improve our show and brings you into the process at the same time. Visit patreon.com/NonSequitur today while the limited spots are still available.
The following podcast is intended for those who believe bold ideas are righteous, unique perspectives are gospel, and strong opinions are sacred. This is Non-Sequitur. Never follow. And now, here are your hosts, Kyle Curtis and Steve McRae.
Okay, so we are live. And first I'm going to I'll introduce you and then I'll let you introduce yourself. So we had last week on Monday, we had the German atheists. I got a lot of comments from you that it can't be better than they have, even better, of the godless community. One half of the Non-Sequitur Show is here in person to tell us about his spiritual experiences. And you may know him as Steve McRae. He calls himself an agnostic. Is that still correct, Steve?
Yeah, it's still correct.
Okay. Don't let that fool you if you are an atheist. He is one of your big guns in the fight against religion. And he's one half of the Non-Sequitur Show. And let's have him introduce himself right now.
Well, hey, first of all, Craig, good to see you again. It's been a while. You were on the Non-Sequitur Show, I believe. I don't remember the topic. You had a debate with Thomas, Holy Kool-Aid, but the topic. Oh, was it religion needed or is good?
That was one. I've been on a few times. I've been on, I think.
Yeah, you've been on a few times. The last time though, I think it was Thomas though. But anyways, good seeing you again because, like I said, it's been a while. I'm not quite sure what the Godless community is. Is that a name that you've given something?
Well, because I just titled you Leading Light of the Godless Community because I didn't want to say Leading Light of Atheism because I know you don't necessarily call yourself an atheist. So we'll get into that in a bit. But before we start, there's a couple things about you I don't know. So tell us. Start from the beginning. Like, how did you, in terms of your relationship to non-belief?
Well, how about I kind of tell you how I got into belief to begin with?
Go ahead.
Because
wherever you want to start.
Yeah, I never grew up religious. My mom was Jewish. My dad was Protestant. We've had various other denominations in my family. My brother was kind of Jehovah's Witness. Most of them are Protestant or Baptist or Methodist. Kind of across the board. But we never really were a religious family by any stretch of the imagination. And I would go to a couple Christian things here and there, but never really was interested. Matter of fact, every time they would kind of pray or anything like that, I just took kind of a leave of absence at that point, and excuse myself from the room. I never had a desire to get into religion. But when I was about 17 or so, I was at my ex-girlfriend's house, and the two missionaries there were going to give her mom a blessing. And the way they do is they anoint the person's head with oil, and they give a little prayer and stuff like that. And they asked, would you mind praying with us and being part of that little blessing.
These are Christian missionaries?
They were Mormon missionaries. They were Mormon missionaries.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I remember distinctly, I was sitting on the couch, and they said her name, and as soon as they said her name, like, my whole body was just, like, lit up like a Christmas tree. It felt like it was just wasn't a painful burning sensation, but it was just very, very lit up. As a matter of fact, I remember distinctly that I couldn't see like my eyes closed, but it was like if somebody put a very bright light up to your eyes, and you know how you can see the redness of your interior of the lids of your eyes. That's what I saw. I could literally see like somebody was putting a bright light to my eyes. And then they said amen, and that it just went away. And I also felt like I was like lifted up, like literally like I was kind of moved up from my, off the couch. And I said, "Whoa." And they looked at me like kind of weird, and I didn't really say much. But later on, I asked them, what the heck was that? And they were talking about the Holy Ghost and all that. Well, I decided to take the missionary lessons, and I actually got baptized Mormon. On that predicated on that distinct feeling.
Wait, slow down. You got baptized as a Mormon. I had no idea about any of this. Wow. Okay. All right, keep going.
And and I wasn't really active that much. But
what would you before you go on, that experience was convincing to you at the time, correct?
Yes.
That's why you joined up with the squad?
Yeah, that was the only. Yeah, because that was the only.
The experience itself telling enough to impress anybody. Have any ulterior reasons for joining?
Well, I didn't have an explanation at the time, right? I mean, I went by their explanation, right? Because it seemed like the logical thing, or at least at the time, it was the rational thing.
Okay, so go ahead with the.
So, that was my only, spiritual experience that I've ever had where I said, okay, well, this is something I'm actually feeling. That's a tangible thing. So let me run with it. And then in about 2008, the church, and again, I wasn't really active. I went to the military, joined the Navy, as you know, and became a nuclear propulsion supervisor for the Navy. And throughout that time, just put it to the side. I mean, I never forgot the feeling, but the whole aspect of the church just didn't really appeal to me that much, I guess, anymore. Matter of fact, I got to tell you, I mean, I never really had a connection to like the Book of Mormon. I read it 3 times. Never thought it was that great. Never had this relationship with Jesus. Never had this relationship with God. Just that feeling that I had. And in 2008, when the church started to get involved in politics by funding these Prop 8, which was the marriage proposal in California, I was very much against it. Then I read more about it and I found out they were giving money to the Evergreen Project, which was a project that believed in reparative therapy or conversion therapy, which is basically making somebody who was gay, trying to get them to be heterosexual, either by electroshock therapy or by prayer. May have been some drugs. I don't know. But it doesn't work. It's a pseudoscience.
And who exactly? Prop 8 was. I vaguely remember that. That was the gay marriage.
It was a California initiative on the ballot, right?
Right, and it was. And so the church that you were involved in was.
The Mormon Church gave a lot of money to go against Proposition 8.
Right, and that you found out about that, and that you didn't like that.
Well, actually, I think it was the other way around. They were. I'm trying to remember the actual proposition. I don't remember the proposition.
Right, it doesn't yeah. They were against gay marriage. You are pro-gay marriage.
Absolutely.
So you're kind of uneasy about them taking their stand.
Yeah, and I don't believe that a church should be involved. I believe in secular society. I don't believe a church should actually get involved in political matters, right? Especially when they're along the lines of something dealing of that nature, and especially to the point where they're funding it, right? I mean, I believe in a very strong separation of church and state.
Right. Okay. But keep going. We're still in the story stage.
Okay, so I basically at that point I really had a major disconnect with the church at that point, and then I never really formulated my theological positions. When I first got on the YouTube scene, I had my channel 5 years. I started my channel in March of 2013, so it's been over 5 years.
Was it as it formed now, where it was like atheists coming on in debates, or was it something different when you started?
No. Actually, by the way, Segart notices that you do have some static from your mic that I pointed out earlier. So,
is it bad? Ask him if it's bad enough that I should switch.
Well, he can probably hear you in the live chat. Hey, Cy. Good to see you, buddy. I like Sligard. Great guy. One of my favorite theists. So
I thought I was. Wait a minute. What do you mean? One of your favorite theists.
They're not exclusive. He's my favorite theist with a PhD in biochemistry. How about that?
No, actually, he's one of your favorite theists with the P. No, all right.
Yeah, actually, he is one of them because I actually really like Dr. Fuzz Rana too. So,
I don't know who that is.
Dr. Fuzz Rana, he is with Reasons to Believe. He works very closely with Dr. Hugh Ross.
Oh, okay.
And both of them are friends of mine. Matter of fact, Dr. Fuzz Rana, 3 times now, he's actually taken one of the questions I've either posed to him or somewhere on my Facebook, he's taken it and actually made it a question of the week. So I was really appreciative of that. Plus, he actually sent me one of his books called Dinosaur Blood and the Age of the Earth, and he kind of asked me to kind of look it over from a layperson's perspective. Because anybody can ask for a book review, right? But people know that I'm not an expert. They know that I'm a layperson, but most of the people don't think that I'm an idiot. So he wanted to kind of get my impression of the book from a person who is not, a biologist or biochemist. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then Dr. Ross sent me Improbable Planet for kind of the same reason. So I'm thrilled to kind of do those things as a layperson, because I think when you write a book, it really matters more what the layperson thinks. Of course, you want it to be correct, and you want it to be, you can't have a really peer review, but you want to be reviewed by your peers. But if a layperson doesn't understand the book, and that's what the book is kind of tailored to, then what good is it, right? And I thought Improbable Planet was very good, by the way. Right. And I thought Fuzz book was really good. My only criticism is Fuzz book is it was really small, but.
Okay, one thing before we go further, because I didn't get to this yet, and I'll forget. What is your actual education background? Or do you have a PhD? Because I always think that you do.
I don't even have a degree, man.
You don't even have a degree past high school?
Nope.
Wow.
No,
that's
well, hang on. I have 120 plus college credits, right? I mean, I have enough for a bachelor's degree. So, in essence, I have the equivalent to a bachelor's degree. I have a lot of credits toward nuclear technologies, but I didn't finish my degree. There was a couple more classes I needed to take. I didn't finish those classes, so I didn't get my degree. So I'm undegreed or non-degreed. But that doesn't mean that I don't remember the information that I took, because I took a lot of college courses. I took macroeconomics, I took critical thinking, I took music theory, I took accounting, and then I took a lot of core stuff. So I took calculus and took physics. But I also had about 60 credits or so through Naval Nuclear Power School, which is about an associate's degree towards nuclear technology. Most of the people that finished their degree in nuclear engineering didn't have to take that many more courses to finish their degree in nuclear engineering, but I didn't take those courses. So, no, I don't have it really amazes when people think I have a degree. I don't know why.
Let me just speak. You strike me and many people as very well versed in some of at least the things that you are talking about. So are you mostly self-taught? What is this, through just reading online or going to different sources, library, or how so where's the body of your knowledge coming from?
Well, I mean, growing up, I was kind of the smart kid in the class, right? They call me the professor. Right. And I really happened to like astrophysics. And I was I was sitting in college level courses when I was like 16. I was reading at a college level when I was in grade school. I scored a 99 on my ASVAB, a perfect score. So, I mean, all my life I've kind of excelled in the intellectual department. But then, you go to nuke school, and the nuke school is the top, 1% of the military, I guess, really. You have to have at least, I think, an 85 to get a nuke school. And most of the people, if you have less than a 95, you're probably going to fail out. I never really toot my own horn, but I got to tell you, it was rough. It was hard. Anybody who thinks that Naval Nuclear Power School is easy needs to try it, because it is not like college. College is a breeze compared to Nuclear Power School. Matter of fact, it's designed by MIT. They take literally 5 course credit courses, like you take like calculus is worth 5 units. They take 5, those types of courses, and they compress it down into one day, and you have 6 months to learn it. Then you have another year and a half to actually apply it. So it's a lot of freaking work. Okay. But, so when I got to nuke school, I realized that, hey, these people are smart. I actually got an average score. I was basically 3.0, right? Straight down the line. Right. I think I even got a 2.0.